Happy Monday, boys and girls. It is our second week of remote learning and our second week of division. Yeah, division. Now, our division this week is a little bit different. We're going to be doing some problems that involve remainders. And we're going to be doing lessons 6, 8. This is what our pages look like, where we have a few problems to do and some choices to make and some pictures to draw. There'll also be some homework that follows along that same thing, and grid paper to help you work on it. Now, the important thing that I really want to point out with all of these problems is that we do need to show our work. This past week, I had many students showing some great work, but there were some students that just put down an answer, and I'm not sure if they knew a way to kind of share it. I did share multiple ways to do that, including inserting your image, all right, via camera or drawing or whatever it might be. And I might share another video this week on some other options for sharing your work. All right. And one of them I'll be using right now with the online whiteboard. So, anyway, we are going to get into some division. All right. I'm going to erase that really quick. And we are going to get started with a problem that is similar to lesson 6, 7. 346 divided by 8. And we'll use a letter G for our unknown. All right. Now, if you don't have a pencil and paper or you don't have a whiteboard to work with, go grab one and let's work on this problem. Pause, work on this problem, and when you're done with it, unpause and we can continue. In the meantime, I'm going to build a multiple table over here. Okay, so why a multiple table? Well, it is like a multiplication chart, and it does give us a quick reference to help us with solving any division problem. I find them incredibly useful, even for folks who are really good with their math facts. They're still something that we can look at and just refer to quickly and think about the most efficient way in solving our problems. All right, so drawing that up didn't take me more than a few seconds. If you know your facts, these can get up really quick, right? So 346 divided by 8. Our problem should look similar to this. All right, you should have the line down the side, and then we can start thinking about our partial quotients that are going to help us divide up 346 into smaller, more manageable parts. All right, so right away I look at 346 and I think about an extended fact that's close to that without going over, and I see 32. Yes, 320 is pretty close to 346. And how do I get 320 with eighths? Well, I multiply by 40, right? And so then I have 26 left over. All right. And the next step is looking at my multiple chart again and saying, all right, I have 3 more eighths that can be multiplied and go into 26, and then I have 2 left over. And can 2 be divided by 8? No, it can't, at least not with whole numbers. So we are done. Now we can add up 40 and 3, and we get 43, and we have a remainder of 2. So with a standard problem like this, if it's just the numbers, just an equation, just a question, we're done. This is all we have to do. You can write your answer in a remainder like that, and we don't need to continue. But if we have word problems, if we have problems that involve certain stories that go along with them, there are going to be certain things that we need to do with our remainders. And that is what the focus is of lesson 6-8. All right. What do we do with this remainder? All right. And we have three choices. We can ignore it, we can write it as a fraction or decimal, or we can round it up. So, remainders. Hey, where'd that I go? There it is. All right. Remainders. What do we do? Well, one of these three things. Okay. So, our first problem involves granola bars or fruit bars, whatever we want to call them. And four brothers share 35 granola bars equally. All right. How many fruit bars or granola bars will each boy get? So, our number model is 35 divided by 4. And I'm going to write B for bars. Okay. And that really comes down to what we're going to write our answer in, too. Our answer is going to be in bars. All right. We could say fruit bars or granola bars, but bars. All right. Now, let's draw up that problem. And 4 is a pretty easy multiple. We do know our 4s, right? I hope. So, how many 4s go into 35? Well, 8. And we have 32. And then we have 3 left over. So, that's a pretty quick division problem if we're just doing the problem by itself. But if we're thinking about this in real life, granola bars, fruit bars, something that we could cut into pieces, that is going to be a little different, right? So I'm going to visualize this with our remainder. And I'm going to try to draw 3 equal sized bars. And then I'm going to choose a different color here for cutting up these bars. I'm going to choose red. And what are we dividing all of them by? Well, we're dividing by 4. So that's how many pieces each bar should be cut into. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourths, right? We have 4 equal pieces, 4 parts, fourths. Now, obviously, I didn't draw them perfectly and not perfectly the same size, but we focus on more the idea of this, right? Now, brother A, Alfred, brother B, Bruce, brother C, Chris, brother D, Derek, they get each one piece of each bar. Now, how many pieces is that? That's 3. And what size pieces? Fourths. And so our answer is 8 and 3/4 bars. So we take that remainder, we put it over the number we're dividing by, and that's how we get our fraction. Okay? So that is what we do when we have a problem that we find a fraction or a decimal, or we change the remainder into that. We write it as that. Okay? Now, the next kind of problem we have here involves a different kind of thing to divide up. Hot Wheels cars, right? Cole has a collection to give to his 6 friends. He has 147 cars that he plans to share equally with them. How many cars will each friend get? Okay, so our question is how many cars will each friend get? So our answer is in cars, right? And we have a number model of 147 divided by 6 equals, I'm going to use C for cars. And I'm going to build my problem like this. 147 divided by 6. So let's think about our multiples of 6, right? We can do this. We can do this with facts we already know. A lot of times we want to find the multiple that really gets us right to our answers quickly, right? And so building this multiple table does not take a lot of time, and it's very, very useful. Okay, so that's why we're doing it. It really helps us out. So 147 divided by 6, well, can we extend 18? No, a little bit too big, but we can extend 120 or 12 to make 120. And that is what we're going to start with. 6 times 20 equals 120. We have 27 left. And then we look again, we can see that 4 times 6 equals 24. And then we have 3 left. So our answer is 24, remainder 3. But with this question, we have to ask ourselves, what do we do with that remainder of 3? Can we say 24 and 3/6 cars? Can we say 24 and a half cars? No, we can't. We can't divide them in half. Can we say that some of the friends get the cars and some of them don't? Nope, that wouldn't be fair. We're sharing them equally. So what we're doing with this remainder, is we're ignoring it. We can't share those extra 3 cars equally. So our answer is that every friend will get 24 cars, and those 3 remaining, we have to ignore them. And we can say that Cole keeps them, or he gives them to his brother, or whatever it might be. I highly doubt he'll give them to his brother, though. Anyway, let's talk about our last question. Jillian has 110 pictures that she's putting into a photo album. Each page in the album holds 8 pictures. So 110 pictures, 8 pictures on each page, right? So we're going to circle each page too. And then the question is, how many pages will she need to hold all the pictures? So our answer is how many pages. So we're going to think about pages here. Okay. So our question, 110 divided by 8. And we know that 10 times 8 is 80. And we have 30 left over. And we know that 3 times 8 equals 24. And that means we have 6 left over. So what do we do with these 6 pictures that are left over? Well, we have 8 pages that are filled with pictures, right? And we have 13 pages filled with pictures, and we have a remainder of 6 pictures. What do we do with those 6 remaining pictures? Well, in this case, we need to round up. And what do I mean by rounding up with this particular kind of problem? Well, we look at our answer, 13, right? And the remainder of 6, well, we have to put those pictures somewhere. So we're going to round up to 14 pages because those 6 pictures need to fit on some kind of page, right? And that is what we do when we round up. Okay, so those are the three examples. Three examples of what we do with a remainder. We ignore them, we write it as a fraction, or we round up. Okay? And our assignment today or this week is lesson 6-8. And you're going to be doing very much the same thing. You're going to be choosing whether we ignore it, report it as a fraction, or we round the answer up. All right. You need to show some work. We need to draw some pictures. And I'd like you to find a way to show that, whether it's on another piece of paper and we take a picture, or we find a way to kind of insert something cool into this. Okay. I'll let you experiment. But nonetheless, show your work. All right. All right. Good luck. Have fun. And happy Monday.